Questions from small word play, which are unable to provide answer at the beginning. What do I want to learn from this? I learned that small W play is an imaginative play whereby a client can express out her emotions and feelings. In his or her current preoccupations, inner subconscious and unconscious thoughts. All these are represented in the small W play by the objects that he or she put in the world. Small W play can be done anywhere and on anything, as long as I can provide my client with a clearly defined private and indicated space, such as on the table, which I have done with my first client in her office on the top of the table, and I use an A4 paper as the zone of the small word play. You can also use a small sand tray, something like I used when I done my first small W play at the workshop. That is, I use a paper plate filled with sand. Or you can also use an actual sand tray like the one I use for my third client, and etc. As for the objects, you can use not only actual figurines but also any nature objects such as branches, dry plant, flowers, stone, pebbles that are easily available, and others. I also learned that before small W play is conducted, we need to do an assessment to identify the client's emotional and behavior problem so that proper intervention can be done to optimize the benefit for the client. Question number 2. Can small W play help the special children, especially those who do not have any concept at all? Yes, according to Alex. As long as the client can play, I can remember during the workshop, Alex showed us on how a child with no speech play. He used a horse figurine to demonstrate. Question number 3. What kind of skill can I develop in this program? I will of course need to develop active listening skill, whereby speaks only when necessary. For example, to ask whether my client understand the play therapy. It is not easy because from myself, I always have a temptation to interrupt to find out more from my client halfway through. It is my nature self, but hopefully as long as times go along, I will learn. I will need to develop also questioning skill. It is important after the scene from the small W play was completed to ask questions as to clarify what the object mean to the client. Beside both of that, which I have mentioned, I will also need to develop basic facilitative skills and also how to make reflection after the small W play. After this program, is there any next level, which is question number 4? Yes, this program is only a basic base for us to have hands-on on how to use small W play to do our projects. Question number 5. Will it be very hard for me to digest? For myself, yes, it is hard for me to digest at the beginning, comparing with other set members who have experience doing small W play. Well, I believe in hard work and also practice more. As people say, practice make perfect. Question number 6. What are the groups or which children groups can benefit most? The answer is there's no limitations as to who can or cannot do. It can be carried out for adults as well as children. Like myself, I couldn't get any children client. That's why I use adult clients. It is as long as there is a need for them to benefit from small W play. Question number 7. How do you engage a withdrawn child into the small object in the small W play? Well, at first, you need to acquire small W play skills to be able to link with the child towards a relationship. Firstly, it is important to understand the pain of the child going through. Then only can we gain his or her trust. Moving on to empowering, and eventually the child will of course break through the barrier at the right time to play. So indeed, I will need to be very patient. I remember once I did ask my friend Priscilla on how she overcome this issue. Her answer is, she gave me a scenario that she gone through. There was a session where the child sat quietly. Then of course she also sat quietly following the child. And only when the time was right, she will ask in a soft voice whether the child wanted to play. And it did not happen on the first session. It happened on a few sessions later. Question number 8. Is small word play assuming to confine itself to a particular developmental group? No. As I have said earlier on, which group can play small W play? There is no limitation as to which group can assume small W play, as long as the client are able to understand and play. When to apply small W play, or should it be applied only when something happen, or apply it when something serious happen? That is question number 9. It was stated in our small W play cookbook that it can be applied when we can see the below following sign. Number 1, early indicators: difficulty with maintaining concentration on tasks, poor memory, delay in speech, delay in language development, or problem paying attention. They may come home from school and tell you, "I'm stupid. I hate school. I don't get what I am supposed to do." And here you will see a loss of self-esteem regarding school performance. Number 3, they may resist going to school or reluctant to participate in normal childhood activities. Number 4, they may show inability to learn or to benefit from school. Number 5, they may need an excessive amount of time and parental support to get homework tasks done. Number 6, you will see a sudden onset of struggles with schoolwork and homework. And lastly, you will see discouragement and withdrawal. Question number 10. How do we gather the evidence on the client before small W play? In the cookbook, we actually propose to follow both by using SDQ, Strength Difficulty Questionnaire, to determine what factors contribute to the problem and what is target areas for interventions, to carefully assess whether small W play methods are suitable for the child, and etc. The SDQ can be given to the caregivers, the parents, the teacher, and the client. Of course, this is when the client are able to understand. That is all the answer for my questions which I was unable to get the answer at the beginning. Thank you for lending your ears.